Have you wondered about the Lord's kingdom, heaven? We are curious about angels' life. What do they eat? How they spend their time? Even angelic children, do they have homework? Most likely they do, because they have to learn. Unfortunately, we cannot find many teachings in the Old and New Testament about heavenly life and angelic life. But we have a lot of teachings in the New Church, heavenly doctrines. But the Lord, here and there, by using parables, the Lord describes what it looks like. But more likely, the Lord, by using those parables, teaches us how we can get to heaven, how we're going to be angels. And this morning we're going to read the Lord's parables regarding heaven from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 13. In this chapter, the Lord talks about 7 different parables, but we're going to read only 2nd and 3rd. Please relax. Another parable he put forth to them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while man slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went away. But when the grain had sprouted and produced a crop, then the tares also appeared. So the servants of the owner came and said to him, Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have tares? He said to them, An enemy has done this. The servant said to him, Do you want us then to go and gather them up? But he said, No, lest while you gather up the tares, you also uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And at the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, First gather together the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them. But gather the wheat into my barn. Another parable he put forth to them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of all the seeds. But when it is grown, it is greater than the herbs, and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and nest in its branches. So heaven is like a sower who goes out, spread the seeds of wheat in his field. But later, when they grow up a little better, a little more, his servants went out and found there were tares in the field. So they asked the master, they brought the said report to the master, and also servant asked, The Lord, Master, do you want us to go out and pluck them out, uproot those tares? What was the answer of the master? Don't do it. And what was the reason? Because they look very similar, so most likely when you pluck them out, the tares, you may pull up also weeds together with the tares. So can you tell me which ones are tares and which ones are wheat? No, that's the whole point. So they are look like similar. So the problem, even though it would be great to pull out those weeds, because tares are weeds, wheat-like weeds, useless. But early period of the time when they sprout, when they grow, it's harder to tell, harder to make distinction between the weeds and good wheat. So you'd better wait a little bit. But later on, only wheat will have a crop, will have a grains. So after that, you can figure it out which one should be uprooted and should be bundled to be burned. But tares will be gone, and after that, wheat can be taken and to the barn of the master. So the Lord said that this is like heaven. How come growing tares with wheat can be like a heaven? When we do something good deeds, something charitable acts, sometimes we are not quite clear what kind of a motivation behind them when we do good things, what kind of causes we have and reasons we have. And when we are not quite sure, we just keep doing good deeds, good acts. Even though I might have something unclear, impure reasons, maybe we want to gain that friend's favor so that he or she may invite me to her and his birthday party. And maybe that friend will share the wonderful toys with me if I show some kindness. We might have those reasons when we help a friend. And we think, oh, this is not the right thing to do because I have any selfish reason when I help my friend. But the Lord is telling us, but keep doing good things. Because you are not quite clear at that point. But when we get mature, when we become wiser, we know that what kind of motivations behind this specific act. And we can remove that later. But in the meantime, when we are not quite clear, we'd better keep doing good things. And the Lord said another parable about heaven, the third one, which is about the mustard seed. But the Lord said the mustard seeds are the least seeds. Can you see the mustard seeds here? I put like 6 of them, but you cannot see them at all. That's the whole point. It's very tiny. There's no way to show it. It's really tiniest seed, but you know what? This seed will become a tree later, and the height of the tree on average will be 20 feet. It's about 6 meters. So it maybe reached our ceiling of the sanctuary. So many birds in the air come and make their nest. They feel safe there. They can hide the branches behind the leaves. When we learn the Lord's truth, it's like tiny and very small in the beginning. But if we keep doing this, even though it doesn't look like a fancy, because we just learned it today, we need to keep doing good things, even though we are not clear about the reasons why we're doing that. So if we keep growing those truths of the Lord, eventually that tiny, small, one sentence, one simple teaching make us good children, good adults, and later, eventually, that tiny teaching will make us angels of heaven. So, there are many small teachings we learn and gather, but we need to try to keep doing them, even though they don't appear fancy and great. It's like a tiniest seed, but eventually it will be bigger. It will give us wonderful habit and beautiful disposition within us. And then a small teaching make us angels of the Lord. So this is the way we can grow heaven within us, and then we will be angels of the Lord.